the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL 2026-27 application cycle is open now. And there are quite a few new things that you should know about if you're planning to apply to this program. So PGP-BL is the one-year MBA program which is offered by IIM Kozhikode on the Kozhikode campus. First of all, let's look at the timelines for this particular program. There will be 3 rounds of application for the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL application this year. The first deadline is 15th of July 2025. The second deadline is 26th of August 2025. And the third deadline, which is the final round of application, will be 20th of November 2025. So the class for the 2026 intake starts on 1st of April, and the interview dates are also tentatively available for the phase 1 application cycle. The interviews will be tentatively conducted on 9th and 10th of August 2025. For phase 2 IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL, the interviews will be conducted on 27-28 September. And for the phase 3 application cycle for the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL 26 intake will be 20th and 21st December 2025. So this is the timeline that you should have in mind once you are planning to take up this particular application. So the process for applying to the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL program is similar to the previous years. There is a 3-stage selection process. In the stage 1, there is a registration process wherein you submit your application form if you meet the eligibility criteria. So there are certain changes in the eligibility criteria that you should know about. Then the stage 2 is the submission of the personal statement. So the applicants who are on the stage 1 should submit a personal statement, which will include a statement of goals and an alternative essay. And the third stage is the personal interaction or the interview. So the tentative timelines for the interviews are also available, which are discussed shortly before. So you can just go through the deadlines and keep that particular timeline in mind once you are planning your application cycle. So next, let's look at the minimum eligibility criteria. There are some important points that you should remember if you're planning to apply to IIMK PGP-BL, because a lot of existing dogs would already have some information which will not be relevant now. So you need a minimum of 50% or equivalent CGPA in graduation. Any discipline will do, or your post graduation, or you can have a CA, CMA, ICW, or a CS qualification to apply to the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL program. Then the minimum work experience required to apply to this program is 4 years now. Earlier it was 3 years. So guys, please remember that the minimum work experience requirement for applying to the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL program for the 2026-27 cycle is going to be 4 years, and this cutoff is till 31st March 2026. So if you have 4 years of work experience, or if you will have 4 years of experience till 31st March 2026, 4 years or more, then you can apply to the PGP-BL program this year. Now coming to the third requirement in terms of the eligibility, you need to have a test score. The GMAT, the GRE, or the CAT score, and in terms of GMAT, also the GMAT Focus Edition, all are acceptable for the application process for the PGP-BL program. As a part of the eligibility, make sure that your score is within the last 3 years. Although the GMAT or the GRE test scores are valid for 5 years and the CAT score actually is valid for 1 year, but for the purpose of applying to IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL program, your test score must be valid in the previous 3 years. So remember that when you are checking your eligibility for applying to the PGP-BL program this year. So let's look at the first stage. The first stage of application for the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL program is the registration process. So first check your eligibility. There are multiple phases. So each of these phases will they are mutually independent phases. So you submit one, wait for the shortlist, then you go to the next stage. And the registration deadline is the deadline that we have given prior. So the stage 1 registration closes on the application deadlines, which we have discussed previously. So getting shortlisted on stage 1 does not mean that you are shortlisted for the personal interaction as well. So stage 1 requires you to fill up the application form. There are 4 essays that you need to fill up, and also give information about your extracurricular activities as well as other engagements that you have been a part of in your stage 1 application form for the PGP-BL process. Now coming to the work experience requirements. In terms of the work experience requirements for PGP-BL, only the full-time work experience will be considered. The cutoff date for all the 3 cycles, you should have your 4 years of work experience or more up till 31st March 2026. And what is not considered as your work experience or qualifies as your work experience for the purpose of eligibility for applying to the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL program is any part-time program or project work or internships or articleships or any pre-graduation work that you have done is not considered as work experience for the purpose of applying to the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL application cycle 2026-27 intake. So this is as far as the work experience requirements are concerned. Now coming to the entrance exam requirements. In terms of the entrance exams, it is the some things are similar. The CAT, the GRE, and the GMAT score, all three of these or any of these will be acceptable, but the score should be from the previous 3 years only. So you have to look at the validity of the score, but your score must be within the last 3 years to be able to submit it to PGP-BL program. The at-home test scores or the online test scores are not accepted for the admissions process. We have also added the codes because a lot of times, the students will look for the institution code, so they are also available over here. You need to send your scores to IIMK as a part of your application process so that they can verify your GMAT or your GRE test scores at the time of processing your application. So this is as far as the entrance exam requirements for the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL application process is considered for the 2026-27 intake. So once you're shortlisted for the stage 1, you have to submit a personal statement. Now personal statement has two components: your statement of goals, which will have your write-up on your short-term and long-term career objectives, and there will be an alternative resume essay. So this is about your story beyond the formal CV. So you need to submit these two components of the application at the stage 2 once you are verified and shortlisted for the stage 2 process. What is the statement of goals like for the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL application? You should be able to talk about the purpose or the objective of taking up the program. You should be able to also outline your career, so far, and as to how the program will help you achieve your goals. So this is what is expected from you when you are writing your statement of goals for the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL program. Talk about your desired company, desired role, desired industry, in terms of the short-term goals when you come to the statement of goals, and then long-term goals will also include a write-up on your desired company, desired role, and desired industry when you're applying to the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL program in the stage 2 application process. This is a very interesting component of the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL application process, which is the alternative resume essay. So every one of us has a resume, that is the formal CV that we have, but then the school gives you an opportunity to tell your story, talk about the rest of your story, what the formal CV may not necessarily tell about you. So present yourself as a holistic professional in terms of your personality, in terms of your motivations, your academic background, your accomplishments. This is your opportunity to talk about all of these things and present a strong case to the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL application, the admissions committee. Then comes the interview process, which is the personal interactions. For this, the tentative windows have already been given by the school. So make sure that you are preparing for the interview, up till that time. And also your availability should be, you should be available. Don't travel at that particular time. So make sure you're choosing your locations according to your availability on those weekends, and also then prepare for the components of the interview. In case you need any help with the application process or the interview preparation for IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to help in that case. And what all are the important aspects of the personal interaction? Your work experience, how you think critically, what your communication skills are like, and what your personal qualities are like. How do you add to the diversity of the classroom, your leadership qualities, and your social sensitivity. So these are all the aspects of your personality which the admissions committee will be interested in looking at when you are applying to the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL program, especially during the personal interaction phase. So what are the locations at which you can go for the personal interaction? You need to choose these from within the application form. So the locations that you can have your interviews for IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL program for the 26-27 intake are Bangalore, Mumbai, New Delhi, Kolkata, and the Kozhikode campus. So these are the tentative locations, or there can be a video conferencing mode as well. So you can choose your location according to your availability at that point in time. So remember guys, summarizing what I have discussed up till now for the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL selection process. There are 3 selection stages. There is a registration in which you submit the online form. Then there is a stage 2 where you submit your personal statement, and the stage 3 of the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL selection process is the personal interaction or the personal interview, as we see. So in case you need any help with any of these three stages or all of these, please feel free to get in touch with us. There are three application phases or three application rounds for the IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL application process this year, and there are 5 personal interview locations which you can select at the time of putting up your initial application itself. So does IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL offer a deferral? So there is a deferral policy in place. It is strongly discouraged, but in very deserving cases or in very appropriate conditions, you can opt for a deferral. You need to apply for a deferral, and there is a chance that you may be awarded a deferral for a year. So in case you face any emergency and you need clarity on the deferral policy, feel free to reach out to the school and apply for a deferral if it is really mandatory for you to get that. And in case you need any help with the application process or with the interview preparation for IIM Kozhikode PGP-BL applications for the 2026-27 intake, feel free to get in touch with us at GOALisB. Do like and share this video and subscribe to the channel for more updates. New deadlines will be released, a lot of times during the week now. So to keep yourself updated, subscribe to the channel. We'll be sharing all the updates with you for the global as well as the Indian P schools. So all the best and wish you luck with your applications.